the Miss Wolfie from our half-acre homestead, and as promised, I'm going to do a series of recipes using my home canned meatballs. Today's recipe, simplest one in the book, Swedish meatballs. I've got 3 packages of my frozen homemade noodles. Now, I'm going to put the water on for the noodles. I'm sorry, I thought I was recording. I'm cutting up all my veggies, putting them in the strainer, and then I'm washing them before they go in the frying pan. We have a knob of butter in the frying pan, heating up, and now I'm chopping the onions. I'm doing the onions and the celery fairly small because they're going to take longer to cook. And our water is on for our noodles. I'm using 3 packages of my homemade noodles. I would only use 1 for, say, a pot of soup. But there's 3 of us, and we'd be loving our noodles. There's our onions into the strainer. Now I'm doing this quick, so just some baby peppers for color. These are sweet peppers. You can season and make them hot if you want. All right. Peppers for flavor and color. Celery and onions. That's a nice bit of bulk of veggies. And in go our veggies. I know sometimes I'm fussier with the cutting, but guess what? It's a little bit more celery. I like bigger pieces of celery with some crunch still in them. We're just going to give these all a... Whoops. I try to keep them in the pan, eh? Give these all a nice stir. You know me, folks. You season for you. But you know me. Gotta have my garlic and my salt and pepper. I had someone once say, why do you put garlic in everything? Then everything tastes the same. I guarantee you this is not going to taste the same as a Caesar salad. Not in the slightest. I was going to make Swedish meatballs last night. And then I remembered I had leftover cabbage, and so I made Bubble and Squeak. And Daddy was not happy. In go a can of mushrooms. Yeah, now we're talking. There we go. In goes the juice from our meatballs first. Now this isn't meatballs with mushrooms. This was just the last couple of jars, and I made them with meatballs. Or I just made them with just plain broth. And now in goes the mushroom soup. Another can of mushroom soup. Because we want this really thick. We just want to mix this in. The reason I didn't put the meatballs in is so that I wouldn't break them up with the stirring. Not that they will break up. And by the way, put those, roll those in grated Parmesan cheese and put them on a toothpick, and you got an instant hors d'oeuvre. Meat on a stick. And those vegetables make the meat the dehydrated vegetables I put in there make it a really flavorful meatball. But if you want, you can add a dish of barbecue sauce for dipping. But now go our meatballs in. Yeah, see, I didn't want to mess with them. It's not a lot of meatballs, but there's enough for everybody. This is one of those making it stretch meals, folks. We only had the rest I have 1 more in a jar this size. The rest are all in pints because that's usually all that Daddy and I do. Okay, turn that right down. Borrow the lid from the oval crock pot. Just enough to keep some of the moisture in. And in go 3 servings of noodles. Now, this would be a full serving if those noodles were going in a pot of soup. Okay, but noodles are a main part of this dish. So, in they go into the boiling water, and we'll bust them up, and when they're almost cooked, just al dente, we will throw them in our meatballs and sauce. Yummy. Okay, now, as my sister just said, Swedish meatballs. Well, not really, because we're Canadian and we do whatever we want with food. So on goes a nice layer of Parmesan cheese, and we're going to turn this right down, put the lid on it until Daddy gets home. Just like that. Alrighty, Papa's home. Let's dish him up. Here you go. Come and get your dinner. Whoa. Once again, I'm going to start cutting my noodles shorter. Let's just make sure Daddy gets a couple more meatballs or he'll bitch. Canadian meatballs.
Canadian.
It's Swedish meatballs with Parmesan and peppers and stuff. Watch, it's going to be hot, baby.
Why are you making me do the video with hot food?
Because you just walked in the door and you're demanding hot food.
Tasty.
Those meatballs are full of flavor. They could be a cocktail wingy in themselves.
Awesome.
Thank you, honey. Enjoy your dinner. This is the Miss Wolfie from our half-acre homestead. Don't bitch at me for calling it Swedish meatballs. It's a rough estimation, right? But it's so good. Take care. God bless.